Catself, and I make songs.
Was quick with a dazzling smile. No matter what, you just don't ask why. Love is like a viper, I can't resist to sip the poison, lick my lips, but my fingertips.
What kind of songs do I make? It's always difficult. It's always really difficult to describe my style, because to me it seems like I make songs in really different styles, and they are all very different from one another. But to someone listening to my music, of course, it seems like I've got some style. So for me, it's really difficult to see what connects those songs. But when I think about it, I think that there is always a little bit of humor in most of my songs, even in the songs that are a little bit morbid. I have some songs that are maybe a little bit creepy, like about roadkill or about a bunny that gets hit by the lightning. So those are strange subjects to some people, but there's some humor in those songs. I like making songs about nature and about some fairy tale creatures like mermaids. And I don't really think much about this. Songs just come to me. Usually it happens this way, that I am practicing some songs for a show, and suddenly something comes to me, and I just keep playing that. And sometimes I have a song after 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I have a special feeling about those songs that just happen to me like that just come to me without any effort. I think they get created when I just live my life, walk, go to the gym. Often when I walk back from the gym, I get a tune in my head, and then I get some words, then I get back, sit at the piano and play, and the rest comes. So I like it when it happens.
I'm of more danger now that I'm grown up.
One of the songs that I've played today is Magic, and I don't actually remember how I wrote the song, but I remember that that one childhood memory came back to me. When I was about 6 years old, my family and I went to the lakes in the summer, and I got this fantasy in my head that in my previous life I had been a mermaid, and I lived at the bottom of the sea, and I told all kinds of stories about this, and to me it was just like storytelling. Of course I didn't believe that I had really been a mermaid and lived at the bottom of the sea, but that was my way of, maybe my way of songwriting already then, or just creating something, creating stories. But my uncle got really upset by that, and he said, no, you are lying, you were never a mermaid, you are human. And my cousins also started not teasing me, but they were a little bit annoyed by my stories. No, you are human, you were never a mermaid, stop lying. So that's why I sing in this song, stop telling tales, or write it in your diary, because nobody cares. That's this little bit of my childhood memory coming into the song. And I think that this is something that often happens to all artists, but maybe especially to singer-songwriters. I read, I don't remember where it was possibly on Wikipedia or on one of those websites, the definition of a singer-songwriter. To some people it seems that a singer-songwriter makes confessional songs about themselves and about their lives, and I never do that. It's not like I don't like my life, but I don't find anything so particularly exciting about what I do every day to write songs about it. Probably elements of my life somehow get into the songs, of course, but I don't know. I get away from from myself when I make a song. The song is always about something else, about nature, about something from space that comes to me. So I think it's often maybe it can be difficult to be misunderstood when you create a song or other art, or write a novel. Like, writers are often quoted from their works as something that they said, but it seems like it's something that they expressed as themselves, as the writers, as human beings, but it might be something that a character said and not something that that writer would agree with. So that is something that's when I see that it happens to someone, that an artist, a writer or a songwriter is misunderstood in this way, then I always think about this childhood memory. I was not really a mermaid.
Books are books of a dusty road. Take to the right, just after the sign you'll find me.
I chose, as a cover song, I chose the song of the Swedish singer-songwriter Jenny Wilson, and it's called Summertime, the Roughest Time. It's from her first album that is called Love and Youth, and it was released exactly 10 years ago. So that's a special album for me in many ways. I discovered it in my favorite way. I walked into a record shop just to see what they had, what was new, and I heard it playing. I heard maybe a few seconds of this song, Summertime, the Roughest Time, and I had to buy the CD. I really like it when it happens. I walk into the shop, hear something, and it grabs me, and I have to get it and take it home, and I'm never disappointed. So that was a special moment to me, but also I am sometimes asked if I have any musical heroes, if I am inspired by any artists, and I don't really feel like I have any musical inspirations, but maybe I have different inspirations. Maybe if I see that somebody like Jenny Wilson records an album completely on her own and does everything by herself, that is really inspiring and encouraging. So I heard that album before I decided to be a musician full-time, before I focused on music, but I had so much admiration for Jenny Wilson and what she had done and what she had accomplished, and somehow there was some incredible warmth and strength coming from that person, from Jenny Wilson. So that really stayed with me and encouraged me. And I think when I was making my first demos, which I later put up on a crowdfunding site, and that's how I managed to finance my album. So when I was recording those demos, I think that I got a lot of strength from Jenny Wilson, although she doesn't know about it, but I felt she could do this. It is possible to do it on your own, to record songs on your own at home.
Yeah.
Learning as you go, and it is possible to do it. I used to think that it had to be done always with other people's help in a studio, but it's also possible to create something by yourself, and I didn't realize it before, but Jenny Wilson taught me that, so that's why I played this song as a tribute to her and as a thank you.
You just got to have fun, yeah, and fall in love. Gotta find a boy to fall in love with quick, with a dazzling smile. No matter what, you just don't ask why.
At the moment I am at the end of my spring, early summer tour. I usually go on tour twice a year, in the spring around April, and then in the autumn, late October or the beginning of November. And it started somehow naturally that I started coming to the Netherlands because I fundraised my album that I recorded, and hopefully it will come out early next year. Hopefully. It was funded by fans, and many of them live in the Netherlands. So when I was still fundraising, some of my fans invited me to play a live show, and it somehow started like this. First I came to play one show, then another year on the way I still played a show in Poland and in Germany, and somehow it became a pattern that I leave Finland twice a year, and sometimes I have more shows and sometimes fewer, but it's always twice a year. And last year and this year I also did a little tour of the UK, and it went really great. I didn't expect that. I was a little bit afraid to travel to the UK because of the driving on the left, so last year I had company, so I didn't have to drive on my own, and this year I traveled by public transport, which was a little bit hard carrying all the gear with me, but it was worth it because the audiences in England and in Scotland were amazing. It was really something I had not expected, and I must go there more often.
Be your warmth all night until dawn, and I'll be a memory before you're asleep.
To all my fans in Holland and everybody who I have met here during my travels, I want to say thank you for welcoming me and for somehow giving me a home away from home in your country. I really feel quite like at home here, and I felt it especially this year when I came back from England after a lot of traveling, being in a different place almost every day, and I notice I feel quite at home almost everywhere because I move around so much, but here it is now so cozy and really like a home away from home. So thank you so much for giving this home to me here.
At school I give hiccups to the teachers I don't like. Books about a dusty road, take to the right just after the sign you find me there. This day there cannot be another one. There can't.
Meer de melancholische dingen. Jamie Rice heeft dat heel sterk natuurlijk. Dus voor mij is dat echt wel persoonlijke